All right, everybody, Justin from Utah Airguns here. We've got a new gun fresh off the truck. This is the new Avenger-X. That was the coolest thing ever. And it comes in lots of different models, actually. This one here is the tactical tube. It also comes with a tactical bottle. We've got a classic wood with the tube, you know, classic. And we've also got a wood one with a bottle. We've got bullpups with a bottle. We've got bullpups with a tube. We've got 8 different versions of this guy right now, and they are brand new. Brand new. So let's get started. Let's check it out. Let's open the box, show you guys what we've got. If I know how to open the box. Okay, here we go. It was all nicely wrapped. Plastic, here we go. Okay, here's what we got. Here's what we got here's what we got. Here we go. We have the tactical Avenger-X, synthetic with a tube, okay? That's one of 8 models. Now what you can see is they've changed it drastically. Let's go over first impressions here. First impressions, when I feel this gun, open it up, the stock is much, much better than the old one. Let's be honest, the old Avenger stock didn't feel so good. This one feels amazing, especially on this tactical. If it all feels really solid, you've got the extended pick rail with it, and also obviously the adjustable length of pole on the AR buttstock. Awesome. Side lever, one thing to note that I did notice right off the bat that's totally awesome is they've made this ambidextrous. So you can switch the bolt over left or right side, so it's comfortable for anyone, especially with this length of pole and this type of stock. There's not a left hand, right hand to it, so it's all ambi. You can shoot it different lengths of pole. Each side, like before, it still comes with a single shot tray, comes with 2 magazines. Now, one thing to note, it comes with a high capacity magazine, it also comes with a standard. So I think the reason they did that is if you want to run a really low scope height, you can run the small magazine. If you want a little bit more capacity for rounds, you can go with a bigger magazine. Pretty good idea. Also comes with all your seal kit. So down the road, if you want to reseal the whole gun, you're covered. It's already in there. One other option I'd like to note is there is no use for a custom adapter now. This has a threaded barrel in the end, so you can just screw your moderator onto it there without an adapter. That makes it handy. Let's take it down to the range now. Let's see how it does. Let's get a scope on it and let's just go shoot it. We've got the Avenge-X Tactical setup. This is the tube version, obviously. We've got a bipod and a bag on it for the purpose of zeroing this. So let's give it a whirl. Let's see what we think. First impressions. Well, let me give you first impressions first. One is when we shot this originally right out of the box. So I didn't think the gun shot as well as it could, and I figured with a lot of new guns, sometimes the barrels just come a little bit full of some oils or grease, cosmine, whatever, and will cause them to not shoot as well. So what I did is I took some patches, I ran them through, use a pull through like this with some patches and some ballistol. One thing to note, if you're using a pull through like this, which you should, it's the best thing to do for an air gun. On your patch size, if you're running a 22 caliber, I like to run like a 25 caliber patch, because those caliber specific patches are identified to be with like a jag point or a patch loop like that. So they're meant to be sized different. Upsize these because this doesn't take up all that room in the bore. So upsize your patch 1 caliber. You can even go 2 sometimes, but that'll get you a little bit better cleaning with a pull through like this. But it's very simple. Obviously, just use the pull through. You feed it down through the muzzle side, obviously with everything safe, with gun safe, action open. Practice some gun safety here. Make sure the bore is clear before you ever try that. Now, run the patches through. You'll just pull them through. Ballistol has been the absolute best thing I've ever found to clean airgun barrels with. It's very good, and it won't harm your O-rings. So, okay, we've talked about cleaning. Here we go. Now, let's talk about shooting now. We've loaded up the high capacity magazine that the gun comes with. 16 rounds for your information in 22 caliber. So let's get started let's throw that baby in. We have already aired up. Let's give it a whirl. So I've shot 4 different groups. One right from pulling patches through to just shooting it. And then I've worked 4-shot groups around the target after that, just to give you an example of what happens when you clean a gun and then kind of seasoning the barrel back in. Shot string pretty consistent. I mean, it was all, around 905, 908. So really, really consistent gun. So for testing purposes, so far we're shooting the JSB Jumbo Heavies. That's an 18 grain pellet. Always a great shooting pellet. So that's what we're testing with at the moment. It went in this order. This was right after we cleaned it. This was the next group, and then finally the last 4. So as you can see, it will walk around a little bit right after you clean them. That's perfectly normal, so don't stress about it. You want to get a few pellets down that barrel before you get too concerned about accuracy again. So shooting really, really accurate though once it gets some lead back in it. That was 4 shots at 35 yards, so basically a 1-hole group. Can't ask for much more than that, right? So sound level, let's talk about that for a minute. A gun shooting 905 feet per second plus, this gun is extremely quiet the way it is. I'm really impressed with the sound levels of this. It does, however, come with threaded barrel, like we explained in the opening segment. You can throw a moderator on there, and it is extremely quiet. So if you choose to be extremely quiet, go ahead, put a little moderator on there. That'd be a great thing to do. But it is very, very quiet with just the way it is. That's all the good points. Let me go over a few things that I would say are my only gripes about the gun. One, and I haven't tried to adjust the trigger yet, but the trigger had an insane amount of creep in it and was a little bit heavy for me. But I'm not looking for a perfect, under a pound trigger out of a gun that cost me less than $1,000, right? That being said, the other thing for me, because my eyes aren't what they used to be, I feel like the gauges have some really fine lines on it. And for me, it's really hard to see where you're at. So that'd be my 2 gripes about the gun. Other than that, really, really like this gun. So there you have it. That's my first impressions of the Avenge-X in 22 caliber. This is the tactical tube version. But overall, very, very, very good rifle, and especially for what you're paying for this gun, it's unbelievable. So terrific value on the gun. Shoots great. It'd be a great gun whether you're not new to air guns or if you are new to air guns. It's a great way to get into air guns with that type of a gun. So there you have it. Now, keep in mind, there are 8 models in total of this gun now. So check those out on the website. You've got lots of options in this. If the tactical thing isn't your gig, then that's okay. There's bullpups, there's standard classic rifle stocks, wood stocks, and synthetic stocks. We've got bullpups with both. So you've got all kinds of options. It should meet something that is your taste. If the tube's not enough air for you typically and you want a bottle, they got you covered. They've got a bottle version of each. So one thing to note about this gun is it is still very tunable. You've got regulator adjustments and hammer spring adjustments, so you can fine tune that. you know, obviously this one's shooting pretty hot right out of the box, you know, shooting 18 grain pellets over 900, if that's your gig, and it does shoot them well, so even better. But out of the box shoots great. If you want to fine tune it for a different ammunition, you can do that by adjusting those things if you know what you're doing. If you don't, maybe watch some videos on how to adjust reg and hammer spring pressure and how to tune a rifle before you do it yourself, because it can be pretty frustrating if you don't know what you're doing. So check that out as well. We've got videos on our YouTube channel, Utah Airguns. Obviously, you can check those things out. There's lots of other people that have done tuning videos. Out of the box shoots pretty fantastic. So there you go. That's my first impressions of the Avenge-X Tactical Tube gun. There you go.